Rumi and Jinu represent more than just two characters who struggle with identity. They are the reflection of every burden we carry. As they navigate stylized violence and hidden scars, their relationship highlights why the film's message matters. In today's video, we're discussing how their dynamic serves as a shield against the industry, suffocating the man for perfection, and how these supernatural metaphors mirror crushing pressure to remain perfect. By embracing this chaotic battle, we validate the internal scars hidden behind every flawless performance. On June 20th, 2025, Sony Pictures Animation Studio and Netflix released a musical fantasy film known as K-pop Demon Hunters, which was a huge milestone, not just for Sony Pictures, but for Netflix as well, as it became the #1 most watched Netflix film for 67 days straight, beating the likes of Stranger Things and Wednesday's season 1 and 2. Not only that, but the song Golden became #1 song worldwide, spending 20 weeks at the #1 on the Billboard Global Exclusive US charts as of January 2026. The song also ruled the Billboard Global 200 for 18 weeks. It spent 8 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100s. And another fun fact about Golden, it became the first K-pop song ever to win a Grammy. But despite its success, I want to take a deep dive into two main characters who are the centerpiece of the movie. And those two characters are Rumi and Jinu, and how they are important to the film and what they teach us about self-love. But first, let's take a look into their backgrounds, starting with Rumi. When Rumi was born, her mother passed away. While it's unknown how she died, she had a friend named Celine, her mother's best friend and part of the Sunlight Sisters. And she made a promise to protect Rumi. And with her help of Celine, her and Rumi built the K-pop group known as Huntrix. There was a twist. Rumi was born with patterns. Don't worry, for those who don't know, Rumi's father was a demon who worked for Guima, which is the antagonist of the film. And while Rumi's dad is unknown at the time of this video, from what Rumi knows, her dad was a demon, and now she bears the marks that her father also had. Celine told her to cover up her patterns, fearing that if Mira and Zoe knew, it would break Huntrix apart. But as much as Rumi wanted to open up, she knew that if she did, they would not be able to seal the honeymoon, which is a barrier that keeps the demons from the underworld out of the human world. And Guima feeds off the negativity from the human world and literally eats souls so he can gain more control and power. Later on, Celine helped build Huntrix. That's where Rumi met her two best friends, Mira and Zoe, and with the three of them, they were the most popular K-pop girl band in the world. And also, Celine trained them to become hunters, all while Rumi was hiding her true self, not only to the world, but her two friends that she counts on and does everything with. Celine made her feel shame. This, however, changed when she met Jinu. But let's take a look into how Jinu was as a person before he met Rumi. Jinu was living in poverty with his mother and sister. He wanted to get himself out of that miserable life, so he busted the streets and used the only thing that he had to his name, a bappa and his voice. He didn't feel accomplished at all, fearing that he was a disgrace to his family. But then that's when he heard Guima for the first time in his head. Guima, promising to give Jinu a better life, he was later praised by the king himself offering him to come stay at the castle with his clothes clean and his belly finally full. But there was a major cost. Either continue to live in poverty or come stay with the king or leave his family behind. While it's unknown what happened to his family, he ended up choosing to leave his family behind. You could see later in the film that he regrets leaving his family behind. Later on, his pattern started to grow until it consumed him. Having no other way out, he ended up working for Guima for over 400 years. And that was the deal he had to abide by. What we can gather from Jinu's story is that not only he felt shame, misery, doubt, but he also knew that he was selfish, leaving his family behind, not being able to forgive himself, because as he says in the movie, his patterns are a reminder of his shame. So what we can gather from both of these characters' backgrounds is that while both of them had similar upbringings, it's also them taking what their parental figures taught to both of them in their lives and using it to help them navigate their life. For Rumi, it was Celine, believing that hiding her true self is okay. She went on with years believing that if she sealed the honeymoon, there would be no more hiding and no more secrets. She felt as if she could finally move on from the shame of what she was, and that not learning a valuable lesson, that self-love is always important. The same could be applied to Jinu. While he wanted self-desires and he was desperate, he also didn't think about anyone else but himself, and that's why he chose to leave his family behind, forgetting about them to fulfill his needs. This brings me to the conclusion on why Rumi and Jinu are key factors in the movie. Not only do their actions affect the people around them, but they also have to learn the hard way about loving themselves first. For Rumi, it was losing the idol awards and her patterns being revealed to her friends, and the whole world finding out about her patterns. For Jinu, he suppressed how he felt about leaving his family behind just for his personal gain. And in the end, Jinu sacrificed himself not only to forgive himself, but to apologize to Rumi about not opening up to her sooner. Throughout their interactions, while Jinu was working for Guima, he also had a soft spot for Rumi. And that's why throughout the movie, if you pay close attention to Jinu's face before their second meetup, he feels bad about working with Guima overall. And that's what makes not only him, but both of them important characters to the overall story and the overall movie. Just two misunderstood people who want to do better in life.
No, I wanted to set you free.
You did. You gave me my soul back. And now, I give it to you.